Good morning, everybody. I'm back in my kitchen again, and today I'm doing something for the first time, and after watching many YouTube videos, I'm going to try to can butter. And here's what I'm doing. Right now, as you can see, I got sticks of butter in the pot to heat and melt down. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the cheapest brand, of course, Walmart, unsalted, and balancing it out with salted. So I'm doing 50% salted, 50% unsalted. And this is my packaging from what I already have in. So I have 4 pounds of butter in here right now. And I'm going to add the rest of these in the pot and melt this down. Let it come up to a low simmer. And then we're going to fill jars. But I'm also doing a few other things. I've got a big pot here going, and I got some smoked, it's like bacon type of stuff in here. It's just like, I think they call it jaw, smoked jaw, but it's like a bacon. And we're going to fill this up with greens today, because I got a lot of greens to pick in the garden. And in my pressure cooker, I also have some of that smoked jaw meat. And we're going to do a big pot of beans. But as you can see, I have the beans not even started. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't pre-soak my beans because I pressure cook them. So I don't have to pre-soak my dry beans. But this is going to be a big pot of beans with smoked ham jaws. And then a big pot of greens with smoked ham jaws. And we'll probably do a big pot of rice, and that will be our dinner tonight. Maybe even some cornbread. But my focus today is really going to be on this butter. As you can see, it's really starting to melt down. I only have my heat on medium, so it's not real high. And I'm going to, while this melts down, I'm going to get my jars ready, and I'm going to bring you along for the process. I've never done it before, so before you follow my video, please watch many others, which is what I have done. And the main important thing is have your hands clean, have your cooking utensils clean, have your jars clean. Everything must be very clean because you're working with a dairy product. But give it a try. If it works for you, wonderful. And I'll be back with the next step of the process. Hey guys, I'm back. My butter, as you can see, is filling up the pot. I've got one left to go in there, but I'm waiting to see how this melts down because I don't want to overflow the pot. And this is either a 6 or an 8 quart pot that I'm working with. But I kept track of what I added by saving the cartons. And another thought here is these wrappers that came off the butter. I know people who save these, and when it's time to bake pies or biscuits, they use these to butter their baking utensil, whether it's a pie pan, a cookie sheet, whatever. These are great if you want to save them. Just put them in your freezer. Then as you need them, you pull them out and you use them to grease up your pie pans and cookie sheets. Just another thought of things not to waste when you're doing some of your prepping stuff. And my husband is working on breaking down these boxes. We won't waste these either. These will actually go into the burn box. We have a box. We no longer put our personal mail out by the curb for the garbage men because several months ago somebody stopped before the garbage men came through and stole a bag of our garbage. And that has me now very paranoid. I don't know what they're looking for, if they're looking for personal information, whatever it was. Scared me. So now we do not burn any of our personal mail, not even the newspaper little ads that they send. We put it all in a burn box. When we fire up the fireplace, we're just going to burn them all in the fireplace. So that's something to be aware of. Be careful what you put out in your personal garbage because you never know when someone's going to pick it up. And my opinion there is good luck trying to get credit on my or my husband's name right now because I don't think that's possible. We're pretty maxed out. Only because we bought a truck recently. But, yeah, save these. Put them in the freezer. When you need to grease something, instead of having to use something like this, you have these left over. And once you use them one time, just throw them away. It's that simple. Okay, back to my pot. As you can see, it's really melting down, but I'm also seeing I don't really have a lot of room left. And I need to be able to get a ladle in here to scoop this out and put it into my jars. So I'm going to go get my jars ready, and we're just going to keep an eye on this and see if we can add any more, because I really want to add this salted one to this. And because it balances out. If you do all salted butter, you could end up with a product that's too salty for your liking. So that's why we're diluting the salted with the unsalted. And the other reason as well is to consider anybody with heart concerns, issues, high blood pressure. It's all related. Somebody commented on my channel, why would you worry about salt in an SHTF situation? Well, you know what? We want to live through that situation. We don't want to have a heart attack because we weren't aware of our health issues and we didn't take care of ourselves. Yes, you can eat all the garbage you want in an SHTH situation. You prep whatever you want for your family, but I can tell you, my family is going to have healthy food. There is no way, no option on that. If I have to live off my fruit trees, I will be eating healthy food. I refused to fall into the dogma of, oh, you got to buy this brand or that brand of prepackaged food. Yes, we have a little bit of it. The rest is going to be all home cooked foods. You want to stay healthy, you want to survive and get through an SHTF situation, whether it's 6 months, 2 years, 10 years, you need to learn to listen to the people who are doing it the right way and the healthy way. I'll be back with some jars and we'll get this canning process going. Hey guys, I'm getting my jars ready. As you can see, I'm using half pints with a wide mouth, so it's easy to get the butter back out of them. And I just opened this case. These are actually half pint jelly jars. They'll serve the same purpose, so I'm going to be using those. But here's something that I do. When I open my package, and I got this off of somebody off of YouTube again, I open this like it's a lid, and I leave that back attached. So once my jars are done, cleaned, labeled, I put them back in the case. And then I have this dust cover that covers them. I will slip a label right in here so I can tell what's in this case. But then this cardboard piece I leave in there as well. And here's why. There are a lot of earthquakes, a lot of volcanoes. There's a lot of changes happening in the earth right now. If an earthquake would hit us, I want my jars safe. And I feel by leaving the cardboard in the case, so the jars, as you can see, can't bang and break each other. It would take a really hard earthquake to hurt that puppy. But also by leaving them in the case, it keeps them stable. I do not put these on a bookcase or a shelf. I put my cases on the floor. Less chance of rocking and rolling if they're on the floor, and only stack them about 4 high. Again, less chance of them being knocked over, tipped over, or shaken over. That's one of my other tips for you guys that are prepping. If you have the room to do this, it's definitely my way of doing it. And of course, clean your jars, which I'm getting ready to do that now. My butter is still melting down. I still have 1 box to put in here, but look at that clump that's still melting. So I'm just waiting to see where we're at with this. And I'm not too concerned if I don't get that last box in. It's the salted ones. And again, what did I say about salt? It's important, yes, but it's also important to keep it to a point where your body's not going to have issues from too much salt. And that's definitely something our household has to be concerned with, as my husband's already had his first heart attack and we were warned. We need to change how we eat. So we have changed how we eat. And salt is definitely one of the things we're cut way, way back on, to the point it's almost non-existent in our diet. So, let's move on. I'm going to get my jars ready to be filled. Still waiting for this to melt. As soon as this is melted, these jars will be cleaned and ready to go. I got to get those jars going. Be right back with you. Okay, everybody. I'm back. All my butter is in the pot. I even was able to get that very last bit in the pot. And I've been stirring, 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 which is the key. And now I'm going to start filling my jars, and I hope to get pretty much 2 cases of half-pint jars filled. I've got my lids boiling. Normally you only simmer them. I'm boiling them because I will not be pressure canning or water bath canning. This is just going to be a self-sealing method that I've watched somebody else do that I'm going to try. Now the key is not to get burned, because butter when it's hot is just like a hot grease, and I don't want to get burned, so just bear with me here as I try and get a couple of these jars filled while you're following with and while you're watching. I'm going to turn my heat off on the butter. The butter is more than hot enough, so the heat does not need to be on, because at this point I'm really worried about it cooking over. So let's see if we can get 1 jar filled here on camera. This lady doesn't even take that foam off the top because she shakes her jars. Let's see what we got there. Perfect. 1/4 inch from the top is what you want to go for every jar. And don't forget, when you go to put your seal on, you want to have some vinegar water, because this is a grease. And you want to have that vinegar water ready to go so that your seal will seal and not let you down when you go to use your product or you go to check on your product. So far we got 3 jars filled, and it didn't make a dent in this pot, so I'm hoping I have enough of the half-pint jars. If I do not, then I'll transition to a pint jar, but I really prefer to have them in smaller quantities. Okay, I'm going to bring you along. I've got some hot water with some vinegar sitting here. So we're going to clean our rims. Oop, that didn't work. Alright, let's get a clean part of the paper towel. You want to get all the oils from the butter and the fat off of the rim, because that can be a real problem when you're trying to seal your jars. Now these are hot jars and hot products, so this is a hot pack system. Okay? My lids are boiling hot, so we put the lids on next. One of the key to this system is, as the butter cools in your jar, you'll be shaking your jars. Just hand tight again, just like you would if you were putting them in a canner. Hand tight and hand tight. Now these 3 are ready to be just set aside, and as they cool I'll be shaking them, because as you can see, some of that white butter is already starting to separate, so you're just going to give them a shake. You're just going to give them a shake, okay? As they cool, you keep shaking them. And we're going to keep going here. We got a lot of butter to get put back. This is something I've been wanting to try for a long time. But between finances and resources, being able to buy the jars for the right size jars that I wanted, and being able to afford the butter in bulk, this has been a real problem. And today I was able to get enough butter to do it. Instead of freezing the butter and defrosting it, I put it right in the pot and started cooking it. Again, about 1/4 inch from the top and off to your next jar. And keep stirring this butter as you're doing this. So, because butter will separate. That's how they clarify butter. They separate it. And we don't want clarified butter. We want butter. We want all of it. I'm amazed I'm not making more of a mess. Let's go to these. I'm going to try and stay with one style here. And let's wipe these jars. You might notice I'm able to handle the jars, but I worked in hot plastic manufacturing for years, and I'm able to handle hotter things than the average person is. So you'll notice that I can handle my jars more than some other people can, and that's because my hands have been so desensitized from years of handling very hot plastic. I have the burns to prove it too. So oh, there goes the lid. Guess what? I gotta redo this one. Okay, give it another fresh wipe and grab a fresh lid. We're not going to use that lid until it's re-cleaned and sterilized. Okay, there's the product. Give it a little shake and set it down. Now, you can see how much this first set has started separating. We just give it a shake, set it down, give it a shake, and that just keeps the butter mixed as they're cooling. Shake and set them down. Looks like I'll be shaking butter today. So, alright, that's it for canning butter. I'm going to bring you back for the finished product and let you see how this all sets up, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes. Hey guys, I wanted to bring you back. All my butter is in jars. I'm going to share a little bit of what I'm doing here, okay? I spaced them way out because I want these to cool faster than you would normally even worry about it, because I want the butter to set up. And as you can hear, they are pinging, they are sealing. I've got almost a whole case of these guys I've already pinged to seal. And as you can see, they're not separating near as fast. This one still is. And the warmer they get, which is up here, you can see there's more separation in some of these jars. So we're going to be shaking probably for the next couple hours. That one's really got to be shaken up. But they are starting to hold together better. The first batch is, listen to them pinging, love the sound. The first batch is pinging up beautifully. They're also holding together after a good shake. And basically my shake is, let's do this one. Just a good shake. And it shakes the camera too, but there you go, okay? A good shake, and you can see that white ring in the bottom is gone. But you have to continue to do this until these solidify and cool. Now, one of my other experiments is this was a little bouillon jar, okay? I'm only testing one because, again, it's a test. This one will go in the refrigerator no matter what, okay? This was the last of the butter. It's in a little smaller container. I'm going to take the lid, the original lid, and put it on. If it does not seal, it's not a big deal because I'm putting it in the refrigerator. If it seals, that tells me that certain jars and certain lids may be reusable. So, and I keep these just for oddball stuff, just like this, to have extra jars for dried herbs, dried spices, whatever I'm doing. So, and you can still hear I'm still getting pings, so we're still sealing. And it's going fairly quickly. And I will bring you back for the very last peek at these before I put them in the pantry, and that will be after they solidify. As you can see, things are moving right along, and the process that I used is working perfectly. I can't even tell you how excited I am to hear those pings going on, because that's telling my jars are sealing. And with the jars being disinfected and the hot butter going into them, it kills the bacteria, and that's the point. You boiled the lids rather than simmering them, again, so that this process will work. That's the point. Alright, we'll come back to you with the final product, and then I'll get this up and y'all can enjoy it. We'll be back in a little bit. Hey guys, I'm back, and it's been a couple hours. My butter, as you can see, there's nothing sloshing in the jars anymore. It's set up really well. I did end up shaking them up really good, and after the jars were cool to the touch, I put them in the refrigerator to finish that final setup on them. And they all look really, really good. And we ended up, I think we counted about 25 half pints of butter. So we did really, really good with this, and I wanted to show you, this is, I'm putting them back in the case they came out of. They have the cardboard separators in them, and now the only thing left is to put the cover on, and I'm going to slip a piece of paper in here that says butter, and it's that simple. Then these get stacked back in the back room, and we have butter when we need it. If for some reason the SHTF happens and there's no power, no refrigeration, this is a great way of storing butter for cooking, for your favorite cornbread recipes, whatever you use butter for. It's a great way to store it. So, hope you give it a shout and give it a try. Give me a like and a share. Share my videos in whatever groups you feel, or with any friends you feel you want to. And thank you for following. Have a blessed day.